Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla and I'm happy to be here with you on a Saturday evening. I hope you're all enjoying your weekend. I have just been crocheting so much that I have injured my thumb. The padding on my thumb right here hurts so bad. And I keep trying to crochet with it anyway. I know it needs rest. I just don't want to rest it. It's not that the thumb hurts, it's the padding right here, or nerve or something. Oh, I feel a little knot. It's something right in here, but when I'm crocheting, I can just feel it hurting. It hurts really bad. It's very tender. And I do feel a little knot in there. So I need to rest my thumb a little bit, even though I don't want to. And maybe I can use that time to kind of organize my mess that I have going on, because I have a mess. I have so many projects going on that I just have little messes everywhere. So maybe I should pause and spend a little time doing that. But anyway, so I wanted to come on and update you on my crochet wreath. This is the Under the Sea wreath, and I'm about ready to start putting stuff on it, but I just wanted to help you guys. I lost my words. I just wanted to share with you guys the rest of the progress so that you can see what I'm doing, and if you ever decide to do a wreath and put a covering on it like this, you can see how mine turned out, and maybe you learn from, you know, my mistakes or whatever, and you are able to do it better, okay? Because I'm not saying I have the perfect way. No, by no means. I'm just trying different things. So I have my covering put on my wreath. Now this could be stretched out a little bit. I have it pulled back just a little because I'm at the point where we need to connect these two. Now I was working on this, and my youngest son Elijah was sitting on the bench in the parlor talking to me while I was crocheting, and I said, I'm about ready for you to put this together. And he's like, put what together? And so I just kind of held it up like that. Let's see. I held it like that, and he said, who cut it? And I said, Dakota cut it, but he said, you'll put it back together for me. Dakota didn't say that. And he's like, you better call Dakota. And I said, Dakota said you could put it together. And he said, there's no way to put that back together. You'd have to weld it. And I said, well, Dakota cut it for me, but he said you'd put it back together. And he was just like, you better call Dakota. I was just messing with him. But anyway, I do got to figure that out. Okay, so that's what this video is. We're going to figure that out. Okay, to put this sleeve on here, I tried several different things to, you know, slide it on. These prongs won't, you know, you got to put something over them, because these prongs want to come out every which way and snag the yarn and everything, you know, that they could think of to do to keep you from doing this. So I tried wrapping this in some paper. Actually, I had a ball band from a yarn skein, and so I folded it over where it was pretty thick and had that on here. It was, you know, like folded over the top and over the sides, and it just fit on like a kind of like a glove, I guess. And I had that, you know, taped and all that. Well, these prongs came out the end of that, so that didn't work, and so I had to pull it all back off. And then, of course, the little covering that I made came off in here, so I had to dig in it and try to work that way to the end to get it out. Okay, I tried a Ziploc bag. That didn't work because the prongs shot right out the end of that. I tried a cardboard, kind of like a manila envelope, except it was thicker cardboard. I tried that, and it kept just coming off the whole thing. And then it was inside my yarn tube, and I was trying to wedge it back on there. So I tried several different things. Nothing was working. And so I figured out I had to squeeze these together and just cover them in a ton of packaging tape. So that's what I did. And this is super thick. Like, I'm going to have to cut this off and get that off of there some kind of way. But anyway, that is a lot of packaging tape on there. And I did have to bend the wires in just a little so they weren't, you know, straight out. I had to bend them in so that they weren't just snagging, you know. I don't know, because even with doing it with packaging tape, it still left corners on this. So I didn't want those corners, I wanted them to be in a little bit. So it'd be almost, I'd like it to bend in more, but I didn't want to bend it too much. So anyway, that's what I found worked the best. And even that wasn't just wonderful, but I made it work. The other thing is sometimes these little prongs right here, sometimes the yarn would get snagged on that, and I'd have to kind of work it up, work it back down. But it was some work getting this sleeve on here. So I put the sleeve on, and it wasn't quite long enough. And I said, I'm not taking that sucker off and putting it back on again. So then I just started crocheting around the wreath, you know. Well, let me just tell you, that is a pain. That's a pain. It's a lot of work trying to crochet, and then you gotta take your yarn, put it through, flip this, crochet on this side, take your yarn, put it back through, and flip it again, and it was a lot of work. It was just like, and I was trying to do that at my desk, and yeah, I was laughing at myself because it was ridiculous what I was doing. But anyway, I've got this pulled back some. I think I might have my tube long enough that I'm ready to join them. But if not, I haven't disconnected my yarn, so I can crochet another couple of rows if I need to. So at this point, I'm going to have to trick Big Daddy into getting up from his day of rest to help me figure out how to connect this. So that's what we need to do. I'm going to cut this off, and we are going to connect these together and then try to fit the tubes together and whip stitch that together and sew it together. So that's what we're fixing to do. Okay, so turns out I'm on my own in putting this back together, and that's okay. I can figure it out. I'm a figure it out kind of girl. So what I'm going to do is, that packaging tape taped up on there so thick and worked so well that I'm just going to use packaging tape, like a lot of it, to make that sturdy. So I'm overlapping this a tiny bit, not too much, but a little bit. And I am just wrapping tape around that. I'm just going to wrap a lot of tape around that. And I already pre-cut some and stuck here, so I think this is going to work just fine. That's pretty sturdy feeling already, but I already have more tape cut, so we're just going to go with more. Okay, and then I'm going to do some starting from the front side to the back. Oh yeah, this is going to work just fine. This is just packaging tape. It's actually Scotch packaging tape. Imagine that came from Walmart. And I have a couple more pieces. And okay, I have just a few more pieces here, but see, this is going to be so thick and sturdy. Like, I'm telling you, that is sturdy. That works just fine. We didn't need any help. Alright, so there we go. So sturdy, it doesn't need anything else. Someone had suggestion of like wrapping, Teresa did, wrapping zip ties around these two to make it. But Teresa, that is so strong, I don't think we need it. So Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make sure my tube is stretched out and not bunched up anywhere. Let me get that side real good. And then let me go get this side. Oh, yep. I'm there already. So now I'm just ready to sew that together. Awesome. Okay, guys. This worked out really well. So that was really simple and easy to do. The only thing that was hard to tell was if I had it long enough already, because just laying it on here, like when I had the tube before I put it on the wreath, just taking the tube that I had crocheted and laying it on here and trying to see, you really couldn't tell because it doesn't stretch out the way it needs to stretch, and you have to put it on to do. But the thing about it is, if you make it too long, you can always pull out rows. But it was a pain trying to crochet around this wreath. Now I have more wreaths that I'm going to be doing. The watermelon wreath and the Christmas wreath. And also the girl swinging in the garden wreath. And so I'm going to cover those with yarn also. I'm not really sure about the Christmas one. I may not cover it in yarn. I think I have enough tulle to do it. But anyway, those wreaths are smaller, so they will be a lot simpler to do. But yeah, I'm going to crochet my tube until I think it's too long. And then I will put it on here and take yarn off until it's the right length. But that's perfect. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't have a needle in here with me, but I'm just going to cut me a very long tail of this yarn. That's probably too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. And I'm going to take this, thread it on a needle, and just whip stitch this together. So let's do that. Okay, I have my needle. I just have a plastic needle. And by the way, I don't know if you know, but if you go in Michael's in the kids section, you can get a whole pack of these for like barely anything. And then you can use the 20% off coupon that they usually have online, and that makes them almost free. Now, I don't know. I don't know how much that package is. It's about $2. Let's say it's $2. I'm not for sure, but it's cheap. You can buy them there. They're colored, like there's yellow, blue, green, orange. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of them. But anyway, it's cheaper buying them there than it is out of the craft department or sewing department. If you use the plastic ones. Sometimes I use metal ones, and sometimes I use the plastic ones. Just depends on what I'm doing and what I pick up. And my thumb is very, very tender. I hate that because I don't want to rest it. I want to keep going. Alright, I'm going to have to flip this. So if you think that'll make you sick, close your eyes, because I got to flip this real quick. And now we're over here. So you can imagine what it was like trying to crochet around this thing. It was not fun. It was funny thinking of myself doing it, but it wasn't fun doing it. But this did work out perfect. That packaging tape made that plenty strong enough. I mean, it could be, I think the wreath could be hung from the top with that, because it is very, very strong. I have no doubts about it holding up or anything like that. So at the fair, I don't care how they hang it. I did something to my yarn here. Okay. But anyway, I probably will make this the bottom of the wreath as I'm putting it together. I don't know. Who knows? Just to be super safe. But this is really working out fine, and so I can't wait to crochet my tubes for the other wreaths, and then I can start putting stuff on them. I haven't showed you anything that's going on the girl in the garden wreath. Actually, I haven't finished the stuff that's going on it yet, but I will. Have no fear. We're going to get it done. See, that just slides with that packaging tape under there. That slides, but see it down here where that packaging tape is not, it does not slide. It snags. So, Okay, back to my beginning, and I'm just going to sew this again, just overlapping my sewing just a little bit. Okay, did you see what I did there? Just trying to tie it off. And I'll just do that over here. And then I'm going to pull it back through my loop. Alright. And I've done that about 2 times now, so that's pretty good. Now I just need to take this and I'm just going to kind of weave it through. I'm going to weave it in and out because this is actually going to be covered in tulle, so you're not going to see this part that much. It's just giving it a background. So I'm just kind of securing my yarn here a little bit. Not that it really needed that, but it makes me feel better. So there we go. There is my whole wreath covered. Alright guys, here is my wreath. It is all covered. This tube fit on there perfectly, and I will be doing the same procedure on the other wreaths that I am making. But I wanted to give y'all this update on my Under the Sea crochet wreath. And the next update on this wreath, we should be putting poofs on here with a tulle, and yeah, and then adding amigurumis. So fun. It's so fun to see it all come together, and I appreciate you guys watching so very much. I hope you enjoy your whole weekend, and I will be back pretty soon with another video. I wanted to say I found this little pen. It's an ink pen, but I'm not using it for the ink pen. It has that little black tip on the end, and so I can use it because I have to put the camera like almost the other side of the table, and so I'm just like trying to turn it off. But with this, I can reach and do it. Still have to stretch a little bit, but it's not like I'm, you know, stretching my arm out of the socket or leaning up, getting my face all up in y'all's in the camera there, you know. So that is a good thing. I found it at Dollar Tree, so it was $1.25. They had lots of different colors, and I picked out, you know, the prettiest one. Bye, friends.